Pelvic floor engagement always seems like the kind of exercise you're supposed to do after you've been to the loo. We're told at the end of the loo to make sure that you draw yourself in a few times, and that's about it. But actually, pelvic floor training is very similar to training any other muscle, and it's not just a question of clenching whenever you remember. There's a lot more to it than that. So today I'm going to take you through the basics of pelvic floor engagement and show you how you can work at home to increase the strength of this very important muscle. Come and lie down onto your back. That's usually the easiest place to find this muscle, but if getting down onto the floor isn't comfortable for you, you could do this sitting on a chair as well, or you could even do it standing. It wouldn't be a problem. It tends to be easier to find the pelvic floor muscles when you're lying on your back. Now, I'm going to lie in what we call the A-frame position in Pilates, so my legs are basically making the letter A. I'm going to take these 2 forefingers of each hand here. I'm going to place them on my hip bones at the top, and then I'm going to slide them inwards towards the pelvis about 2 inches, pressing down quite firmly with these fingers here. I'm going to come into a little sit-up. So if you were sitting in a chair, you would hunch over. If you were standing, you would hunch over. And when I come into this sit-up, I can feel muscles underneath my fingers engaging quite firmly. So that's what we're looking for here. Just try and find those muscles when you come into the little sit-up and relax back down again. If you're quite good at it, you can get them to tense up without even coming into the sit-up. Now, these muscles are your transverse abdominis muscles. They create the corset that runs all the way around your belly here. They hold your organs in, and they're crucial in helping us stay upright and stay balanced. We want to work them pretty much every day. We want to try and do a little bit of transverse abdominis work all the time. However, they are not our pelvic floor muscles, and often people will confuse the pelvic floor muscles with these transverse abdominis muscles. So now we know where they are, we can relax them, we can feel them soft under our fingers, and if they firm up, then we know that we're not using our pelvic floor, we're using the transverse abdominis. So learning where these are and learning how to relax them is going to be key to getting the pelvic floor working properly. The next thing that we're going to do is draw our attention to the pelvic floor muscle. Now, there is nothing to see here. If I draw my pelvic floor in and up, you're not going to be able to see at all. So if you're trying to work your pelvic floor and you're creating movements through the pelvis, then you're not accessing the pelvic floor properly. You're working different muscles. So you should be able to remain very still through all of this. In order to access the pelvic floor muscles, I want you to picture that you're standing in a crowded lift and you're trying to hold in a big fart. So you hold that fart in, that's your pelvic floor. It's a donut-shaped muscle and it's contracting to stop you from embarrassing yourself in that lift. So let's hold it in and relax it back off again. And we'll do this 3 more times. Exhale to hold that muscle in and inhale to relax it back off. And twice more. All the time, keep your fingers here to make sure that you're not going to be using these transverse abdominis muscles instead. Okay, now we're going to look at how we can work this pelvic floor. So we're going to draw it inwards, upwards and forwards. So we hold the fart in, we draw the fart up, and then we pull that engagement forwards towards the pubic bone. But if you feel the muscles engaging underneath your fingers, then you've gone too far. And then let yourself relax off completely. And again, let's draw inwards, upwards and forwards, stopping shy of these transverse abdominis muscles, creating tension. And relax back off again. Let's do this twice more. Inwards, upwards, forwards. And relax off. And we'll do it 1 more time. Inwards, upwards and forwards. And relax off. So now we're going to look at the importance of relaxing off. We want to make sure that we can completely empty our flow of urine when we go to the toilet, and we want to make sure that we don't hold ourselves in a tensed position in the pelvic floor. So we're going to do the same thing again, inwards, upwards, forwards, and then we're going to relax off and gently, gently push through. Now, if you have experienced a prolapse, or if you are perimenopausal and it's giving you pelvic floor incontinence, if you're having trouble holding the flow of urine, then you won't want to push too far with this. You just want to feel a gentle opening out and relaxing Otherwise, you can push down a little bit more. So inwards, upwards, forwards, and then you can relax off, either just opening up or slightly pushing through. When you push through, you might feel the transverse abdominis muscles engaging again. Inwards, upwards, forwards with the pelvic floor, release off, and gently push through, opening out. And we'll do one more here. Inwards, upwards, forwards, and relax off, pushing through. Okay, now we're going to look at different ways to train this muscle. If you haven't done very much pelvic floor engagement before, you might find that just in switching it on and switching it back off again is enough of a challenge, in which case you'll want to come back to this next bit later. However, if that feels okay to you, we're going to look at different ways that we can train the pelvic floor. And the first way that we're going to do that is by creating small pulsing movements. Now, a pulsing movement is where you engage and disengage a muscle quite quickly. So if I were to do a pulsing movement with my legs here, for example, this would be a pulsing movement, little heel clicks here. So we're going to do a similar thing with our pelvic floor. We want to come inwards, upwards, forwards, about halfway. We're not fully engaging here. And then we're going to try and just pull it in a little bit further. Now we want to try and do this without engaging with the transverse abdominis muscles. So keep your fingers in place just to make sure that you keep these muscles relaxed and focus on the pelvic floor. So that holding in of the fart again, that's what we're looking for. Inhale for 5 little pulses and exhale for 5 little pulses. We're going to do one more breath and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can relax off from there. The next training method that we're going to use is a graduated engagement. So we're going to pretend that we're going up a ladder, or that the lift is going up. Get back to the lift analogy. So you think of the lift going all the way up and back down. So we're going to start at the ground floor. We're going to take the lift up to the first floor, second floor, third floor, pause here. We're going to go back to the second floor, first floor, ground floor, and through to the basement, just gently pushing through if you can. And again, back to the first floor, second floor, third floor, hold it here, back down to the second floor, first floor, ground floor, out through the basement. And we'll do this again, from the basement up to the ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor, hold it here, back to the second floor, first floor, ground floor, and gently push through to the basement. We'll do this one more time. Ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. Can you go up to fourth floor? And then 3, 2, 1. Ground floor through to the basement here. And you can relax off. So you could do these exercises safely every day, and they're going to help you gain more confidence with your pelvic floor. They're going to help you gain more strength and control with the pelvic floor as well, so that you know that you're going to be safe in situations that may have left you feeling embarrassed before. Thank you for joining me. Bye.